Hello traders, right, I apologise for all the extra lines on here. That's directed at Katy actually. Katy, um, I added this line in. You'll notice that's different from the original uh, um, screenshot on Twitter. I added this line in and this green line in as well. Now, this line and this line, these levels were both on the original drawing. And I didn't want to complicate things in the original drawing by putting this one in, but you can clearly see why. And this was for my own benefit, really, just so that I could expect a potential bounce off of these resistance levels that created this downtrend and this little level that was affected by that one there, because I knew it would bounce. So, you know, you've got to, as a scalper, I've said this many times to many people that ask me how I gather my targets. I trade to the nearest level that I know price will bounce at. Why would I want to let it hit that, bounce back up, when I can take a profit there, watch the bounce up because I expect that to happen, and then have another go potentially at this? So what I shouldn't have really done is this little kink in the road here, because I think you took this as a potential trade when really what I was meaning was this is probably what will happen. And as you can see, that is exactly what happened with the pink line being priced there. It did dung 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 and bounced on this level. But the critical thing was this level here, and you can I did move it up a bit because of the 5-minute chart, but that level there is why I've drawn this whole orange level here, because you must be below that level, because that is what created, that's part of the uptrend, that is what created that high there, and as such that is a critical, that's a part of a strong trend. So you must, and that is buyers, and you must be below the buyers. So to answer your question, Katy, that wasn't a valid trade. That's why there was no orange level up here, because this is the level. That's the level I drew on. That's the level I wanted to see the break of. That is when the dragon, and shame I can't use crayons here, but that is when the dragon would probably come down here and you know, and then the price, so the dragon would be pointing down in a perfect world. The RSI would be below the zero level and had done this sort of thing, bust, pull back, break and close down. As you can see, it was very weak here because the dragon hadn't turned down. So you must be below old valid resistance in order to consider trading. So there was no trade up here. You wouldn't have got stopped out because you shouldn't have even been in a trade. And if we look at the 5-minute, that's much clearer. There is the big level that I talked about just now. There's the higher high, low, high, higher low. Support breaks that high, that's valid support. At this point here, let's take that green line off now because I drew this one on, oops, what have I got rid of there? Don't know. Oh, the dragon. I drew this one on the 1 minute just then, so we'll get rid of that. But this is critical. You are not below, you know, you can't draw an ascending trend line on this thing here. You're not below any resistance. It hasn't created a higher high. This is just, this green line was put on there to put up onto the Twitter. All that is a pullback. It's not a trend. And that's why I described this situation here, because now that is a trend. You know, we can do the other lines now if that helps clarify things. That's a trend. The minute that low is broken by price and closed below, so you'd want to see, look at your candles. That's why I often do this sort of situation, because when a 5-minute candle has broken this pale blue line here and closed below it, and then you might see a couple of candles come up here. Doesn't matter, it's been broken, and that then is, you know, this is why we wait for, that's your 3 candle reversal down, that's your pullback. This would be your break and close back down. But at this point here, when it's closed below the pale blue line, you've broken this uptrend by a new downtrend. Critically, you're below that orange line that made that up move, and that's critical, Katy. That's why I drew that orange line there, because this is an uptrend. All this was, when you thought you may have entered here, and apologies, that may be my fault because I did that, but I drew the orange line for a reason. This was just sort of a vanity thing to show how price would move on the 1 minute, and it did exactly what I expected it to on the 1 minute chart. Oops, you might have heard my tummy then, sorry. There's the 1 minute chart, there's the vanity project I did. Pullback, continuation, come down and test this level. Well, we didn't quite test it, but you can see what the whole point of that. And then what I wanted you to see then was this orange line busted with that there, and that was the trade. And it's not happened yet, but when it does, all your dragon, all your RSI histo, it will all be correct. So, you know, that's critical. If you'd have entered on that 1 minute, all you'd have done was entered on a swing, not a trend, as I've just explained there. Okay, I hope that helps, guys. Any other problems, give me a shout.